the closer to your hypothetical ideal someone you're attracted to is, the more pain you suffer when you're rejected. So that's why that happens. And so men are a lot more afraid of women than women think. Huh. Especially women that they're attracted to. Well, it's a total rejection, right? It's a really comprehensive rejection. You know, it's, you know, the comical end of it is, well, you're okay for a friend, but I wouldn't want your genetic material to propagate itself to the next generation.
That was the nerdiest thing you've ever said. I love it. Okay, I just imagined you courting Mrs. Peterson. Okay, never mind.
No, fine. But so it's an intractable problem to some degree. And, you know, I think that part of the reason that human beings are the way they are, it's part of the reason is because female human beings are choosy sexual selectors, unlike chimpanzee females, for example. And so a fair bit of our evolutionary development across time is a consequence of the high standards that women place on eligible men. But it's harsh. And it's hard on women too, because, well, they shrink their dating pool, for example.
Yeah. Jordan,
now, what's the solution to that?
Yeah,
what's the solution to that?
Come on, my fan base is predominantly female. Most are college or university grads. Just saying, they tend to be hot and smart and awesome and creative and be in multiple dimensions. And I get the same questions over and over because they have the same problem.
I guess one of the things I would say to women who aren't being asked out, let's say, well, do the asking. Flip it. Like you have to take it in. You have to take it into your own hands. Like if you're not being asked, figure out what you want. This is something that everyone should do. But let's talk to young women. It's like, okay, well, first of all, figure out what you want, what you actually want, and you should talk to someone, your friends or someone you trust, and spend an hour figuring out what you want, and try not to lie to yourself. You know, do you want kids? And when you're 19, it's fashionable to say no, but that's likely a lie. Now, it might be true when you're 19, but the probability that it's going to be true when you're 29 is almost zero. And no one will tell young women that. It's like, I don't care what you think now that you're 19. You don't understand. As you mature, the desire to have a baby will become unbelievably intense. And you need to know that. And if you decide not to have children, that's your decision, but you should be informed that this is what's coming. And in all likelihood, you want children more than you're willing to admit, even at 19. So, well, all right. So
that's one check. Okay.
Taught this idea that, well, motherhood isn't as high status an occupation as it should be. That's a cultural failing, but we're also.
You just got so many moms following you. You just got so many more fans.
I saw this, when my wife had little kids, it was often the case that she wasn't well treated in restaurants and so forth, especially if I wasn't there. So, and that wasn't good. I thought that was a sign of real cultural sickness, that a mother with a young child is treated badly. That's a very bad idea. And that's part of this casual contempt. So anyways, when you're 18 or 17 or 19 or 22, it's like, what do you want exactly? What do you want? And I wrote about that in chapter 3 of this new book, Beyond Order. Don't hide things in the fog. You have to let yourself know what you want. Well, so you make a list of what you want. And what is that? Well, you want someone who's productive and generous and honest. That's a real good start. You want someone that you're physically attracted to.
Yes.
You want someone whose education and intelligence roughly match or exceed your own.
I should stop reading. Daddy Peterson's dating rules. Can't keep going.
Well, and then if you find someone like that, and then that's who you want, right? And you should know that, and you should notice that, because then at least you're looking in the right place. Like there's some.
Maybe you could also put into one of your podcasts or things, because I know a lot of young men follow you, to ask the girls out. The thought
I do say that.
Okay, I don't listen to all of your stuff all the time. Give them a little extra bump.
I tell them all the time. It's like, get out there and ask. And say in my clinical practice too, it's like, you're not going to find someone unless you ask. And, you know, for all there's a lot of criticism aimed at the, you know, the men's movements that teach men how to be a player, how to attract women, there's a lot of negative press aimed at those. And I can understand why, because there's kind of a psychopathic element to it. But one of the things those movements do is to really encourage young men to overcome their fear of approaching women and even asking them for their phone number or for a date or for a conversation or for a coffee, and put a profile up on a dating profile, dress up nicely, get a professional photograph taken, you know, put your best foot forward, and have enough courage to approach some women and maybe get over your fear. And it's so, but I would say to young women, if you find someone who you think fits your criteria and you're not being asked out, ask them.
Fine, I'll do it and I will report back.
Well, what's the alternative? To wait and wither on the vine? That doesn't seem very useful.